Namaste guys and welcome to the new session. So today in this video we are going to understand how we can delete a number inside an array or how we can delete an element inside our array. Now to create our array we are going to ask our user to provide a size of our array or else we can write our own. So let's say our user wants to create a 5 element array and he wants to create an integer type array. So we are going to name this array as ARR and we are going to specify our size as well as the elements, or we can take input from our user for the elements. Now user has provided our 5 elements. Now we are going to ask our user at what position user wants to delete a data. So let's say user wants to delete a data at second position. So we are going to store that input inside our position variable. Now user has provided he wants to delete data at second position. So using this data we can delete this position data. Now we are going to follow a simple approach to delete any position data. So let's take help of shifting again, and using this shifting let's specify our data 1 2 3 4 and 5. So we have our 5 elements. Now to delete this data at this position, what I am going to do, I am simply going to take this data and put this at this position. Now our 3 will be placed at this position, so our 2 will be removed, and we can follow the same step to remove these 3, and our 4 will be here, and at this position we can remove our 4 and our 5 will be stored. So this block will contain 5 as well because it is a copy we are taking from this variable and providing to this position. Now at last we can simply discard this position by decreasing the size of our array. So this is the simple algorithm which we can use to delete an element from our array. So let's say our indexing goes 1 2 3 and 4. Now we have our 5 elements. Now we are going to design a loop to delete or to perform this procedure. So let's say we are going to start a for loop, and our position will be, or our initial position will be this, because we are want to delete this position. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a integer variable int I, and I'm going to specify it by position -1, because we are taking help of indexing. We cannot write 2 because it will point at this position. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it as position -1. Now simply we are going to give it a condition because I want to run this loop at this position, which is end of our array. So simply I'm going to write I should be less than our size, because end of the array represents as the size. Now we can create a incrementing loop. Now we want to specify this procedure. So what we are doing here, simply let's say our I is pointing at this position initially. Now ARR of I, meaning at this position, we are replacing this data with our ARR of I. So this data is nothing but ARR of I plus 1. So this is ARR of I plus 1 and this is ARR of I. So we are simply taking this data and we are providing to this position, and we are running this loop until it reaches this size, which is nothing but our 5, means it will run until its 4th position, which is in index. Now after this procedure, what we are going to do, we are simply going to discard the, meaning that we are going to decrement size of our array. So let's complete this loop first, and at last what I am going to do, I am going to simply reduce the size of our array. So we can print this array and we are going to consider only these 4 elements, and our output array will be like 1, and we are discarding our second. So 1 3 4 and 5. So this is about output array. Now let's see how this looks inside our VS code. So as you can see here, we have created our program. So initially we are asking size to our user and position where user want to delete a data. So here we are taking our size as input, and we are creating an array, and we are asking our user to provide all the elements which user wants to include inside array, or you can specify by your own or creating your own array. Now we are asking our user to provide at which position user wants to delete data. So after taking input from our user, so after we are going to perform our shifting operation, which will initialize from position -1, and our loop will run until the end of array, and we are going to increment this loop each time we perform this operation. So as you can see here, I have not given a flower bracket, because whenever you don't give a flower bracket to any loop, it is going to consider only next instruction as the part of this loop. Here it is not going to consider this size decrement as a part of this loop. So it will run only this first instruction after the loop. Now as you can see here, we are taking our I plus 1 and we are putting into our ARR of I. So it will run until it reaches our size. And at the end, as I have told you, we are going to discard a last element. So we are going to simply decrement a size minus minus, and at last we are going to print this output, and let's see how this runs. So simply I am going to create, or I am going to compile a program. So now we have compiled our program. It is asking to enter a size of our array. So let's assume 5, and we are going to provide our element 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we want to specify at which position we are going to delete our data. So let's say at second position I want to delete. So as you can see here, we have achieved our output as 1, 3, 4, 5 and 2 is deleted successfully. So this is how you can simply perform this operation of deleting at any position inside our array. And for more videos, please subscribe to the channel, and make sure if you have any doubt, please make sure to write in the comment section. Thank you.